Hello, hello, hello everybody, it's Carol here at Oak House Journals. Lovely to have you with me. I'm going to do the Stitched Circles Show Challenge being hosted by Lisbeth Degn, and we're on week 31. What you're looking at here is actually what I created last week for week 30, and the reason I'm showing you that is because the first Dogma rule is to choose a fabric of a colour to complement what we created last week. So this is an image of the fabric that I've chosen to work with this week against what I created last week. My fabric choice is a hand-dyed cotton fabric, and as you can see it's got tones of green and blue there, which I'm hoping will pick up the greens and blues that I worked in last week. So the second Dogma rule was to trace at least 4 random size circles onto the fabric. So here I've lifted out some little pots and tubs out of my craft stash to use as templates for drawing my circles. I've used these 2 pots to create my main circles, my main 4 circles. So I've got 1 large one in the middle and 2 partial circles top and bottom. There we go, that's what my circles look like now that they're drawn. And then I go in and I use the top or the cap off a Pritt stick to draw a centre circle, or a smaller circle in the centre of my main circle. Here I've added some grid lines to try and help me get my angles right. And these are my thread choices, so they're all perlé cottons but 2 different weights. So here I've gone in and I've stitched the large centre circle, and as you can see it's a very pale green, but it actually is a variegated thread. In fact, all of the threads I use this week are variegated perlé. And here I've gone in and I've started one of my smaller circles, and that's what it looks like close up. And here I've gone in and stitched one of the bottom circles, again in a variegated thread. Lovely one, this one, and it's a finer perlé cotton than the one I use for my central circle. So as you can see there, I've started to stitch my 3rd circle and I've still got the bottom one left to do. These 2 I'm stitching slightly differently. There's no centre circle. I'm actually just using a central point, and I think you'll see that more clearly in the next photograph when it comes up. And there you go, you can see I've worked on a central point and angled all my stems into that point. So this is what my finished piece looks like with all the Friction marker pen lines ironed away. Such a pretty little design, this one, and I love the use of the variegated threads. I saw Jennifer Colston use this stitch a while ago, and it's a stitch that I fell in love with straight away. I had no idea if the stitch had a name, so actually calling it elongated or elongated chain stitch is absolutely perfect. I should have mentioned before now what stitch we were stitching in this week, and that the Dogma rule said we could only stitch inside the circles. The thread colour that we were supposed to use this week was a colour or colours that complemented the fabric that we had chosen. So this is my finished piece sat next door to the piece that I created for week 30, and I think there is enough of a colour link there for the 2 fabrics or the 2 pieces to complement each other. So I'm just going to leave you with a few more close-up photographs, everybody, and thank you as always for joining me. Hope you like seeing my efforts this week, and I hope you join me next week. A big thank you as always to Lisbeth Degn, who's hosting this challenge. As always, there's a link in the description box below this video to her YouTube challenge and to the challenge information if you're interested in taking part. Thanks once again, everybody. Take care now. Bye bye.